Good morning, everyone. How are we today? I hope this finds you well and happy. As you can see, shining through the window, there's a little bit of sun today, and that little bit of sun gives me a feeling of joyous experience. It's been gray and raining for the last couple of days. Although I enjoy the rain and snow, kinda, I do like it when the sun peeks through. So here we are all together, basking in the sun. So let's begin our day as we do with our breathing exercise. So we breathe in through the nose, we hold, we breathe out through the mouth. And the whole point of this little exercise is to bring us focused and bring all of our consciousness into our body, into our vehicle, so that we're as much as possible all in one place. And so we begin. In through the nose, hold, out through the mouth. In through the nose, hold, out through the mouth. Continue. In through the nose, hold, out through the mouth. Open your eyes if you had them closed and come back into this three-dimensional plane and wiggle your fingers and your toes and get back in your body fully. There we go. Good morning, Mary Lee. If you're out there this morning, please send me a message. Let me know you're there. It's really nice. So today I want to talk about divine guidance. And the first thing I'd like to say about divine guidance is it's always present. It is always present. The reality is, in this three-dimensional plane, in this free will dynamic that we have chosen to be in, we are conditioned from conception, from the moment we are conceived in our mother's womb, we are conditioned by the teachings and the guidance of this three-dimensional world. And the whole experience of choosing to be manifest in this three-dimensional world is of our own free will, of my own internal divine volition, to choose to perceive myself as the presence of God wherever I am, which is that which I am. To consciously choose that in the face of everything else this three-dimensional experience offers, to choose to embrace that I am the presence of God wherever I am. And so to make a reference to a biblical story, the Holy Bible story, will reference John the Baptist at the River Jordan, and will reference John the Baptist baptizing Jesus. And Jesus shows up, and he has, people are always following Jesus then and now. And so he showed up at the River Jordan, and good morning, Shireen. And John the Baptist, said, hey, because theoretically they're cousins, John and Jesus, and they've known each other. And so they show up, and, Joseph says, John says, hey, Jesus, what's up? And Jesus says, well, I want you to baptize me. And John says, I don't need to baptize you. You're the it. And Jesus says, no, I want you to baptize me. And John says, okay, So John baptizes Jesus. And as the story goes, God manifests as a dove and descends from heaven to Jesus. And Jesus is anointed with the Spirit of God in the baptism, during the baptism experience. And after that, Jesus goes into the desert for quote unquote 40 days. Good morning, Jim. Which in the Bible, 40 days means a long time. It doesn't mean 40 days. Metaphysically, we understand that when it says something took 40 days, what it's saying for real is it just took a long time. And so Jesus goes into the desert for a long time, and in the desert, he is confronted by the quote unquote devil, and the devil offers him every worldly pleasure if Jesus will simply be a devotee of the quote unquote devil, which from metaphysical understanding we know today is to be devoted to the material consciousness and to believe that God is, to believe that I am my body. And in the story, the devil says, I'll give you everything in the world. You can be a king. You can be this. You can do that. You can have all of this. You can have all of that. And after each offer, just like with the world we live in, after every time it's presented to us, you can have this, or you can have that, or you can have something else. Jesus chooses to understand his spiritual consciousness and to be with his spiritual consciousness and to express the divine presence of all that is what's called Father God in the Bible as himself. And as a result of this, what's known as trials in the Bible, Jesus comes out on the other side fully enlightened as the Christ. So at the River Jordan, before John the Baptist, it's Jesus of Nazareth. After the desert, after the Christed Jesus has turned away the worldly consciousness, the belief that I am this body, I am of this world, turns that away and embraces divine understanding, there is a conversion. And that conversion is known as the Christed experience. And that at that point, Jesus comes out of the desert as Christed Jesus. And he goes to his hometown of Nazareth, and he goes in to tell all the people what's going on, and this is my experience, and this is what happened, and da 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 da. And they all say, yeah, way to go there, Jesus. You know, we know you. You're the son of a carpenter. You can't possibly be telling us anything because we know who you are. And the Christed Jesus says to his followers, he says, look, we're going to leave here. The hardest place to be known is in your hometown. And we're not going to waste our time here because it's not my job to convince people that I am the Christed Jesus. It's my job to share with everyone that that which I experienced in the desert is exactly what's available to everyone as a human being to experience in this three-dimensional plane. That's the way it is. And so there's many people that write about it. Today I'm going to choose to read from Neil Donald Walsh, What God Said. And in chapter 2, number 1, the first point is we are all one. All things are one thing. There is only one thing. And all things are part of the one thing there is. This means that you are divine and I am divine. You are not your body. You are not your mind. You are not your soul. You are the unique combination of all three, which comprises the totality of you, the divine Trinity. You are an individuation of divinity, an expression of God on earth. And so that's who we are. That's who I am. And as a result of that, the only time that I remain confused is when I'm allowing the confusion of the training I've received from conception that tells me that I am my body. What confuses all of us is that what was referred to as the devil in the Bible is the conditioning of this world, which is part and parcel of the whole experience, because it is given to us the opportunity to choose to realize and experience ourselves as the divine expression of God. That's the whole point of choosing to be manifest in this three-dimensional plane, to be incarnate right here. We're taught from the moment we're conceived that we are our body, and that if we take care of our body and we adorn our body and we buy things for our body and we get great houses and great cars and we surround ourselves with beautiful people and beautiful things and we do great works of physics and great works of chemistry and we go to work every day and we do all these and we get lots of money and lots of people are giving us applause all the time. That's what we're trained to believe is success in this incarnation. And although it may be pleasant, the reality is that is not success. Success in this incarnation is realizing oneself as the presence of God wherever I am. So what is there to do to allow divine guidance into our lives? What is there we can choose to do? And what it is we can choose to do is we can choose to acknowledge straight out with our voice and with our mind that I am the presence of God wherever I am. And this requires some true attempt and some true practice of confirming over and over and over that I am the presence of God wherever I am, and that everything is God. Everything is God. Therefore, I am God as well. And so we tell ourselves in a constant loop, if possible, God is everything, God is mind, and this perfect intelligence is now acting in me, through me, and for me, and is the thinking capacity within me. I know that in divine mind is the answer to every question and the fulfillment of every need. I am now definitely inspired to right action in my life by the ideas of spirit, which are acting in my consciousness. I know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. I am open and receptive to God's guidance, God's wisdom, and God's love. I rejoice in my sure knowing in this inner wisdom, and I am successful in all my ways. Repeating those short statements, those affirmations, regularly, over and over, pushes out the fear, pushes out the misconception that I must take action to become desirable to some God that lives outside of me. What is true is I must embrace that God is everything all the time, already anyway. And I am a part of everything all the time, already anyway. And therefore, I am completely and totally 100% correct and appropriate as I am. Thank you. Excuse me. This takes conscious choice. This takes effort. This takes practice. Yet the result is the same that Jesus experienced when coming out of the desert. Jesus came out of the desert with a Christed consciousness, a consciousness of Jesus being conscious of his own divinity and the power of healing and the power of understanding was available to him all the time. The same is true for us. The same is true for each and every person here. The moment I choose it, and then take the necessary action to manifest that reality in my life. It's as simple as this analogy. I decide I'm going to walk to Walmart. I put on my shoes, I put on my coat, I put on my pants, I put on my hat, I put on my gloves, I tie my shoes, I open the door. I open the storm door. I walk outside and I take one step after another until I arrive at Walmart. The same is so for each of us who desire to realize our Christ consciousness. We simply must do the action, and the result will manifest. Jesus said to John at the Jordan, I want you to baptize me. And John said, it's not necessary. I'm not worthy. And Jesus said, baptize me. The same is so for us. I say to all that is, of which I am part, I intend to realize myself as all that is. And move out. Take the next appropriate actions. Shape my life in such a way as to manifest in those realities. As I talked about yesterday, choose a code for yourself. Accept certain principles that shape your action. Honesty, hope, faith, courage, integrity, willingness, humility, brotherly love, discipline, perseverance, awareness, service are the ones I choose. You can choose whichever ones you want. Anything that provides help, love, assistance, good to everything is of appropriate principle. And I invite you to choose it. I am the presence of God wherever I am. You are the presence of God wherever you are. We are the manifestation of God right here on planet Earth. And all is well. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.